Support by Total Energies. 70 years of innovation in lubricants for all types of engines.
In this week's episode, the Renault Megane RS265 goes up against the BMW 320d.
We embark on a quest to find a family-friendly vehicle within a nice budget of 750,000 Rand.
And we take a closer look at a 2005 Mercedes experiencing an erratic idle.
Hi and welcome to Buyer's Guide. Every week we try to provide you with useful advice, whether it relates to buying, selling, or just maintaining a vehicle. If you've got a question for the team, you can send an email to buyersguide@ignitiontv.co.za and contain as much information as possible, as well as a nice picture of yourself.
And joining us in studio to help resolve those troubling automotive issues are Themba Kubai from Mbakub Motoring and Leon Loyson from the iPop Motor Group. Welcome, gentlemen. Nice to have you in studio.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to our first question, which comes from Lucky, the owner of a fully paid 2015 VW Cross Caddy. However, Lucky finds the vehicle uncomfortable for his frequent long trips to the Eastern Cape. With a cash budget of 250,000 Rand, he plans to sell the Caddy and buy a more comfortable car, and he's considering a 2013 Mercedes C-Class. As a family of 5, he also needs a larger, more comfortable vehicle. Gentlemen, is the 2015 Mercedes-Benz a good buy? Leon?
I don't know, maybe I'm just risk averse. I don't like to go for, especially for long distance trips and things like that. I'm not a major fan of a 2015. But then again, also, I might be totally wrong. I don't know, I guess it's a risk either way. It's a 9-year-old car, a 9-year-old Mercedes-Benz. So, I mean, if he's only looking at Mercedes-Benz, he's more than likely going to look at a C-Class. Because it's, if you ever look at any car in that kind of class bracket, that's C-Class, C-Class, C-Class.
Did I say 2015?
Yeah.
It's actually 2013.
Sorry, 2015 is his VW Caddy. 2013 C-Class, yeah, that's what you're looking at. So then you're looking at a car that's 11 years old.
He's downgrading big time.
So, and I wonder what he means by the comfort that he's concerned about.
The Caddy is a panel van, so I can understand it. Themba, your feelings?
It's a tricky one, but I think the W204 C-Class as a car in general is a great choice. I think it has aged beautifully. And it's the era where Mercedes quality was still up there, that is interior quality and all of that. As long as he follows the recommended service schedule, I think the car will run decently well. But obviously, maintenance costs on those cars are always a concern.
I'd like Lucky to bring it to me as soon as that chain and gears fail.
Yeah, so there are issues with these cars, and they are expensive to maintain. And the problem with your 250,000 Rand budget, you're going to buy a vehicle that you're looking at 11 years old, must probably be done in excess of 150,000 kilometers. Yeah. And this is where, serious maintenance costs do come into play. So I would rather, if I had that sort of budget of the 250,000 Rand and you wanted something a little bit more comfortable, I get it, because the Caddy is it's a panel van. It's designed as a delivery vehicle, so the suspension and everything is not as comfortable as another premium car. But I think for 250,000 Rand, I would rather look at something maybe a bit newer, but not as flashy. I get it. Some people want a flashy car. I would rather go out and find a good second-hand Toyota Corolla for 250,000 Rand. Okay. It's a sedan. It's spacious, bulletproof, reliable, and the maintenance costs will be a tenth of what.
Yeah. How about a Honda Civic as well, if you look at
Honda Civic's another great example.
Yeah.
Adam loves his Hondas.
Yeah. No, I know. I looked at one. Fantastic car, man.
Yeah.
It's an awesome car. And it seems to just run forever.
Yeah. So there's other options to have a look at there in terms. I get it. People want a flashy car. They want a Mercedes. They want a BMW or something along those lines. But you can go that route, but understand the maintenance cost. So when you send in for a service, it's not 2 to 3 grand. It's 6 to 7,000 Rand. If something breaks on
basic service,
yeah, and if something breaks on it, it's 25 to 50,000 Rand. So this is what you've got to remember. Okay, we're going to move on to our next question from Tanaka. He's got a budget of 300,000 Rand, and he's considering whether to purchase a Renault Megane RS265 or a BMW 320d. Now that's two different cars.
I don't know how. Yeah.
He would also like advice on whether the 2015 Opel Astra OPC is a better option to the other cars mentioned. So that's quite a mix-up here. The goal is to find a fuel-efficient vehicle, as will be primarily used for trips to Musina and the occasional trips to Zimbabwe and Mozambique. Now, I know which cars I don't want to take.
I know which car I want to
Timber.
take too.
We've got a mix of cars. We've got hot hatches and a sensible
Sedans.
3 Series 320 diesel.
I mean, that is an interesting choice of cars, especially if the primary goal is fuel efficiency. Like the Magana
Yes.
and the Astra OPC are purely boy racer cars, and you're not going to get fuel efficiency out of those. So
And
I
they've
think-
already been raced.
Yeah, so I think those two are out if your goal is fuel efficiency. A diesel 3 Series will certainly not disappoint when it comes to fuel economy. So
Yeah, and plus, do you want to be stuck in Zimbabwe or Mozambique with
A
an
Renault.
Opel OPC or a
RS.
Renault RS? You'll struggle to find air for the tires in those
Yeah.
places. So your BMW is certainly the best option. Do you agree with us? Do
Yeah.
you concur, Doctor?
I concur, sir. But look, I've got a mate that drives the Renault again, RS, and it looks nice. And
No, it does.
Oh, it's an awesome car.
He
yeah.
is crying. He takes his motorbike now wherever he goes because that RS is heavy.
Yeah.
It's heavy and its maintenance is heavy. The 320 diesel is, in my opinion, the best BMW that's ever come out. I love that car. I thought it was phenomenal. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot. If he's not really looking specifically for space, I mean, you can pick up a Polo GTI. It's light on fuel. It's got the bang. It's got the performance, and you go for something like that, or you go for Suzuki Swift Sport. If you're looking for something if you're not looking for specifically for a sedan because of its space, if you're looking for something that's funky, you can go for something like that. But out of those choices, I'd go for the BMW personally.
Yeah.
All,
Yeah,
all
certainly
day
not.
long.
So would I.
All day long.
320D, irrespective of the series.
100%.
But
the
Yeah, just
320
one thing to consider
Yeah.
on that, especially on the BMW. If you're going to go into out of South Africa, you don't have spare wheels in those cars.
Yep.
They got run flats. Try and get a run flat tire in
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe or
Ferrari
Mozambique.
or
That's going to be a
You
problem.
know, when people say they
So-
got run flats, I always ask, so what happens if you destroy the sidewall?
Yeah, well, it takes a long time, but if you hit a pothole and break your tire and the rim,
Yes.
there's a problem. You need a Maury biscuit even a
you
basic.
you won't
spare.
have, depending on the year, you won't have roadside assistance any longer.
Yeah, no, that's
You're
that's
talking
another
about
issue.
big.
Yeah,
You're talking about big issues.
yeah. But the BMW is the way to go.
Okay, stay tuned because after the break, we embark on a quest to find a family-friendly vehicle within a lovely budget of 750,000 Rand.
And we compare SUVs from Kia, Chery, Toyota, Mahindra, and VW. Welcome back to Buyer's Guide. Anela, a 28-year-old professional with a 2017 Toyota Yaris, she's only got 60,000 left to pay the car off. Is looking to upgrade to a more family-friendly vehicle for the family of 3. He's considering a Toyota Corolla 1.8 GR Sport for practicality, while also eyeing the Hyundai i30N or BMW 1 Series. He prefers keeping the Yaris for his partner's use, but open to trading it in to increase his 750,000 Rand budget. Temba, what do you think there?
I think
BMW fan, and he's looking at a 1 Series for his growing family.
I think Anele and I are definitely friends based on his taste here. I'm quite a big fan of the Hyundai i30N. It's a very sharp, stiff, focused hot hatch. Although for his family needs, I don't think that car will cater so well because the suspension is very stiff. It's not the most fuel efficient. But a car I think slots in very well at that budget is actually the VW Golf GTI, the Mark 8. For day-to-day use, it's very comfortable. You even forget the type of performance that you have at your disposal. And yeah, with the push of a few buttons, it turns into a whole different animal. And yeah, in my opinion, it's not as fun as the i30N, but for family use, it's way better. That price, you can also get something like the BMW 128 Ti, which is up there with the Golf GTI. The actual reason why I commented mainly on the cars that I mentioned is the last bit here, it says he's considering for his passion for cars.
Yeah.
So that is why my comment was mainly leaning on the hot hatches.
On the hot
But clearly,
hatches,
as a man with a family of 3, they will
No, I think
yeah.
it's the whole family's 3. with just one
The whole
toddler.
family's 3.
We got to shake some sensibility into it.
Yeah.
Passion's going to
Because
turn into...
you're going to buy the hot hatch, all be cool for 6 months, and then your wife's going to say it's me or the car. So
Yeah.
There you go.
okay.
I can give you the brand new XUV700 Black Edition that's been launched. So that's with a black interior, no longer the cream interior. I can give you a brand new Haval H6
With
all-wheel
3 young
drive.
kids, he needs a black interior.
So I think it's a family of 3.
Yeah,
So
so three of
there's
them,
only
yeah.
the one kid it looks
Yeah,
like.
but just now there's 2.
So then it will
Yeah.
be, yeah. So, as human beings, we like to grow financially, as what this person seems to have done, judging by the previous car. But, there's so many awesome cars in that kind of a bracket that you can get. You don't even have to buy second-hand.
Yeah.
But out of this entire group, I would go for the Corolla Cross, personally.
Well, he mentioned the Corolla Cross, and he's by far the most sensible choice out of all those.
Yeah.
Look, we all dig. The i30N. That's a cool car. Like
I would love
suspension
to,
setup,
yeah.
and it's a great fun car to drive. But is it a family vehicle? No, not really. You want to buy something that's a bit more user friendly. The 1 Series BMW is a great car, but it's a small car. If you've got young kids and you've got prams, or if they're a bit older and you've got to throw all the gunk that goes with them, the space is taken
And your
up.
stuff, where's your stuff
So
going to go?
You've mentioned the Corolla Cross, which is a great car, but there you can buy the top of the range one. I think it's about 500.
You buy the hybrid XR.
Yeah, so
You know what I mean?
you still got plenty change, but when you get to that sort of 500,000 rand budget, you've got a 750 budget. You can buy brand new SUVs, and you can go even the Chinese way, and you can go buy something like a Chery Tiggo 8, which is a fantastic car for 750,000 rand. You'll have another 100,000 rand in your pocket. You can keep your Yaris. You can use that around, and you've got a 7-seater with every bell and whistle in it. You can go to
buy the Haval GT.
J7.
I've just launched Jetour now.
Jetour is another new
489,000.
vehicle. Yeah.
489,000 for a full house. I mean, this thing has got everything. Wireless. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's a sexy looking car. And you can get that
so there's
400.
there's another option. So there are lots of
100%.
options, especially in the Chinese segment, to go and have a look at. And you may not be a fan of Chinese vehicles, but go and drive them. You may be pleasantly surprised to see what you can get. They're coming into the market with some exceptionally good value, worthwhile to have a look at.
Having
Or you
said
go
that,
for your
though,
traditional
Adam,
stuff. Yeah.
we don't know the reliability factors and
Yeah.
things on them. So we need to wait at least another 5-6 years. But I do know some of the Chinese vehicles that have been here have really come
Such
through.
as Haval. Haval's
Yeah,
not,
Haval's been there for a
they're not
while.
a new kid on the block. They've been around for a while,
Our next question is from Ishmael, a family man with a wife and 2 children. He has a budget of 600,000 rand for a medium to large SUV that can accommodate extra seating for occasional use. His daily commute consists of mixed town and highway driving, which is not lengthy. He has narrowed his options to the Kia Sorento, Chery Tiggo 8, Toyota Fortuner, Mahindra XUV700, and VW Tiguan All-Space. You see? Would you say he's
I'm
in
not
the
gonna ask
right
Leon.
market there?
Yeah. Well,
I'm not going to ask you because you're going to say the Mahindra.
Yeah.
no, I'm not
He's earning his
biased. I'm going to
paycheck.
say the Jetour. Look, any of these cars is really cool. The Chery Tiggo 8 is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we don't even have to mention. VW Tiguan All-Space is great. I think
As
out
long
of
as
all
it's
of
not
those
a-
cars, you've got, and the Kia Sorento, you can't, they're all awesome. They really and truly are. You got to decide how much of that 600 rand, the 600 grand, do you actually want to spend. If you can save, are you going to use it for something else? That's where I come in.
Timber,
Timber?
you've got a list there, and I can see it's like 600 pages long of cars in this price bracket.
At 600,000 rands, he's spoiled for choice. I think the Chery Tiggo 8 Pro is a great choice, like a lot of the Chinese brands. It offers a lot of value for money, but something to think about. I think the Tiguan offers great resale value, something that is not certain when it comes to the Chinese brands. So
That's a good point, yeah.
yeah, that's how I'll leave it off.
I prefer, if I was given a choice, say it'd be the Kia Sorento or the Toyota Fortuner. Chery Tiggo 8, like you mentioned, Leon, is an awesome car. He's going to get so much bang for his buck.
Yeah.
But, like I said, with the Chery Tiggo 8, we don't know yet. I don't know yet how, So if I advise him and he comes back to me 3 years down the line and says, I bought on your recommendation,
There's good value, and they come with fantastic warranties.
That's great.
Something to consider. The Kia Sorento is a great car. The Chery Tiggo 8, I think, is value for money. Must probably one of the best propositions in terms of what you get. Into the
100%.
The Fortuner is great as well. I don't like the seats that fold down this way.
Yeah, they fold up, yeah.
Yeah,
They don't fold into the floor.
But the Tiggo one would be the last one in my list. I hear what you're saying about resale value and that, but in terms of value for money, what you get on the others, and the Mahindra is superb value for money and a really nice car to drive as well. So drive them all and see what you like. Okay, we're going to be taking a short break, but when we get back, we take a look at a 2005 Mercedes-Benz experiencing an erratic idle.
And we dive into the debate, are DSG gearboxes really as problematic as Adam and Sadie say? Hello and thank you for tuning in to Buyer's Guide. Eddie owns a 2005 C180 Mercedes-Benz W203 with 250,000 kilometers on the clock. He's been experiencing an issue where the car idles very high on a cold start, and when the idle drops, it becomes erratic or uneven. While there are no warning lights and acceleration is normal, Eddie is concerned that this behavior isn't typical. He regularly services the car with what he calls a backyard mechanic.
Now we know the problem.
Now, who hasn't provided an explanation, and previous diagnostics have been inconclusive. He seeks assistance.
He better stay backyard, that mechanic.
Yeah, he better stay right there in the backyard, not come to the front. You know, on something like this, without actually having the car in front of me and plugging in proper diagnostics and looking at it, it's just a guess.
Yep.
But high erratic idling normally points to an air leak or the vehicle sucking in air. And when it gets hot and it's erratic, it's exactly that. It's sucking in air. So Adam, help me out here.
I thought you got it. You have got it. It's simple. It is. It's got an air leak. So it's very common on those C180s. They have a couple of vacuum pipes that tend to perish with age. You've done 250,000 kilometers. You know, it's great having a mechanic who says he's done diagnostics and plugs the machine in. I can plug Leon up to a blood pressure monitor here, but I have no idea what
the results are. Yeah.
What the results mean.
Yeah.
You could be dying or you could be healthy. You know, I would be a bad doctor. So what I'm saying is you've got to understand how to read these diagnostics
yeah.
and to analyze what is going on there. Because not like everybody thinks, well, just plug the machine in.
And it'll tell you, yeah.
Okay, plug the machine in, now what? Is the car fixed? No, you've got to ascertain what the problem is. And Segi's quite correct. You've got an air leak, it's very common. What I would suggest you do is find near you a Mercedes specialist that works on those cars, who understands them, and
He'll pinpoint
they will pinpoint the problem. It's normally an air leak, and vacuum pipes that leak and perish on those cars are a very common issue on them. And it's very simple. If you know how to read your diagnostics, I'm not going to go in depth here, but you could plug in a diagnostic machine. If you know what you're doing, you'll tell somebody
read the fuel
in 5
trims and
minutes
things like
what
that,
the problems are. So there we go. So we're going to end off things with a question from Justin, who recently bought a VW Golf 6 1.4 TSI with 90,000 Ks on the clock. He is aware of the concerns regarding the DSG's gearbox negative reputation and wants to understand that these gearboxes, are they really that problematic? Additionally, he is unsure if the gearbox fluid was changed at the 60,000 kilometer service and seeks advice whether it would be wise to change it now. Well, let me just answer that quickly.
Yeah.
If you go online and you search for gearbox repair DSG, and you start to see just in Johannesburg how many places
Fix DSG gearboxes.
only do DSG gearboxes. So if there's a market for 20
DSG
transmission
repairers.
specialists
Yeah.
to do that, that explains it. I won't even diss the gearbox. I remember when they came out with that DSG gearbox, I thought it was fantastic. This thing is brilliant. When they work well, they work fantastic. But they are inherently unreliable. So
And
Temba's got one. Have you had any issues with yours yet?
Not at the moment, but I
what's the
know
mileage on your Kia?
193,000.
And you've never had, and you purchased it new.
Yeah, brand new.
Jeez.
Jeez, you lucky guy.
Volkswagen, if you're watching,
There's
you know you need to do some PR.
I've got a friend in PE. He always says, Leon, why you guys never say anything good about Volkswagen?
Yeah.
Well, there it is, Mr. Niemand.
Yeah, we just said a little bit about it. But the gearboxes can be problematic. And just to get a little bit technical into it, the problem with the DSG gearbox is it's made up of 4 parts, main parts. One is the clutch system. So if the clutch system fails, it's expensive. The next is the mechatronics, which is the electronics. If that fails, it becomes expensive. The third part is the hydraulic system in the gearbox, which works the actual gearbox. If that fails, it becomes expensive. And then the fourth one, it's a manual gearbox.
Yes.
So the internals there, if they break, it becomes expensive. And the problem is why they're so problematic is that, you know, Demba's here. He comes in with his car and he says, there's something wrong with it, won't change gears. We check, oh, it needs a new clutch. So a new clutch pack costs you a fortune. You fix that. 3 months later, he's back to me. He said, you didn't fix this car properly. It's the same problem. No, hang on a sec. Now the electronics have failed. And so it goes on and on and on. They're very complex and very expensive to fix.
And yes, you can change your gearbox fluid if you want, but it's normal gearbox oil inside the gearbox, which he needs to remember.
Yeah.
And it's a special mechatronic fluid that goes into the unit itself, which is a liter in there in the mechatronic unit and 2.5 liters in the gearbox.
And that's a reason. It won't do any harm to change it.
Change it, yeah.
If in doubt, have it changed because it always helps. But in terms of answering that.
Whether it's problematic, I love the way you answered that, Adam. You didn't say this is crap.
No, I would never say that's
yes,
a load
you'd
of
never
rubbish.
say
He's
that.
purchased
Never.
it
You
already.
just
Never.
said there are 20 million DSG repair centers.
Yeah.
That should give you an idea how well these
He's purchased
gearboxes
it already.
run.
Yeah, he should maybe have done his homework before he purchased.
Well, you know,
Now he
when,
sits with this
like I
potential
said,
issue, headache in the back of his mind.
like I said, when I drove that, I've driven loads of these
No, they're
cars with
phenomenal,
DSG, they're
though.
great.
Beautiful.
And Temba's got one's done 190,000 Ks, you know. So he's been very lucky with it
Yeah.
because I don't think
I've
I've
seen them
single
fail at
client.
50,000.
Yeah, I don't have a single client that's done that sort of mileage without the DSG gearbox failing,
problem.
something failing, yeah. And that applies to all these AMT gearboxes because basically the DSG is an automated manual transmission. That's the AMT. The Fords in the Fiestas and the EcoSports do not buy an automatic because it's rubbish and it's ridiculous. It's 60,000 Rand to change a clutch in that car.
Yeah.
It's stupid. And the same with like the Suzukis that had the AMTs. Fiats have got them. If you got an automated manual transmission, don't buy one. Just go for either a standard automatic or a manual gearbox.
And after having both of us having that rant, we've come to the end of this week's show. Thank you, Leon and Temba, for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
And all your helpful tips and advice. Thank you,
Thanks, guys. Great to see you again. Until next time, please buckle up, stay safe on the roads, and you remember, only emergency vehicles and idiots drive in the emergency lane.
Quartz by Total Energies, driving lubricant innovation for all types of engines.